For Indigenous Peoples Day, let's do a deep dive into who Columbus really was. Check it out, ding the bell, leave your comments, share this with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. So it's Indigenous Peoples Day. Elizabeth Warren tweeted out, "The story of America's mistreatment of Indigenous people is long and painful, and yet Native communities have proven resilient. We owe them our respect, and we must honor our government's commitments and promises to them." Hashtag Indigenous Peoples Day. Yes, amen. And I'm sure probably most of the other presidential candidates also tweeted out something similar to that. What I wanted to share with you is the exact story. I mean, you know, this used to be Columbus Day, and in some states it still is Columbus Day. And I think that this, you know, this is an important part of our history. This was the founding, basically, of the European Empire on North America. It started, of course, with the island of Hispaniola, which is, or Hispaniola, which is now known, half of it is known as Haiti and half of it is known as the Dominican Republic. Split between the, basically the French colony half and the Spanish colony half, and now they're two independent nations. But that's where Columbus blundered into, thinking he had hit the continental United States. In 1503, in a letter to the King and Queen of Spain, he wrote, "Gold is most excellent. Gold constitutes treasure, and he who has it does all he wants in the world and can even lift souls up to paradise." This was his sales pitch, you know, for his second trip. You know, I think we'll find gold. But Miguel Cuneo was a member of Columbus's crew. He was literate. He was actually quite a competent writer. He kept the diary for the trip. And he wrote, "When our caravels were to leave for Spain," these are the, you know, there are three ships, were to leave for Spain, we gathered 1,000, this is, you know, from Hispaniola. Were to leave for Spain, we gathered 1,600 male and female persons of those Indians, and we embarked on our caravels on February 17th, 1495. So they took 1,600 men and women from the island that they were taking back to Europe to sell as slaves. And then he adds, for those who remained, for the soldiers who stayed, in other words, they built a fortress there, and we let it be known to the Spaniards who manned the island's fort in the vicinity that anyone who wanted to take some of them could do so, to the amount desired, which was done. In other words, the local Spaniards who got to stay could make slaves out of the local Indians that they had conquered. Queno says that Columbus himself gave him a beautiful teenage girl, a Carib girl, and when he attempted to have sex with her, and this is quoting his own diary, quote, "She resisted me with all her strength. I thrashed her mercilessly and raped her." He was quite apparently proud of that. Columbus wrote to the Spanish monarchs in 1493, quote, "It is possible, with the name of the Holy Trinity, to sell all the slaves which it is possible to sell. Here there are so many of these slaves, and also Brazil wood, that although they are living things, they're as good as gold." Basically, he didn't find any gold there. But what he did find was, you know, potential slaves and wood. In 1500, he wrote to a friend of his, this is Christopher Columbus, 100 castellanos, as a Spanish coin, are as easily obtained for a woman as for a farm. And it is very general, and there are plenty of dealers who go about looking for girls. Those from 9 to 10 years old are now the most in demand. The Taino didn't particularly like this, the Indians. When Columbus wanted to impose, for even a minor offense, an Indian's nose or ear was cut off so they could impress people with their brutality. Columbus attacked them with dogs, skewered them with pikes, and shot them. Eventually, life became so unbearable that, as Pedro de Cordova wrote, the Indians choose and have chosen suicide.